But Dad, isn't it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our Fat Boy Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty, and Big Bry.
Sorry, I love the banjo, Bri. Every time that banjo drops, you gotta let it drop, man. Welcome everybody to Illegal Ham of the Face. It is, I believe, June 6th here in 2023. I got the Ham family with me here now. I got Big Bri. What's going on, big fella?
Hey, man.
I got
Sherry
here.
Hello, guys.
And I am that fat guy. So welcome on in. We're going to have a great show tonight. Our show is brought to you by Kheel and Lake Erie APA. Get a hold of him. We're doing a summer session now. I apologize for last week. I'm going to throw this one up here because Justin likes me to do this. So we'll do a little fatty fail on last week because it was not Sherry. It was not Brian. That was definitely a fatty fail from last week. So I want to apologize to everybody for last week. So we're going to do a little rebuttal. We're going to do our top 3 favorite female singers at the end of this because I was the only one to get it off last week. For Fat Boy Tuesday, we are going to get into underrated foods because we did overrated and we got some comments, Brian, that will blow your mind. I'm pretty sure there was a tuna melt in the comments at one point in time. Yep,
there is.
Okay.
All right. We're going to get into our Cleveland headlines. We're going to talk a little bit about the Browns, some news that dropped today. We're going to talk about some other headlines with the Guardians and the PGA that just came down a little bit ago. We are also going to do our trivia for City Dogs of Cleveland, who is our trivia sponsor. And we have a good, cute pup for you today, Bri. He is right up your alley. And they need him out. They said they need him out of there now because he is too adorable or people are going to steal him because I guess some volunteers have tried and it hasn't happened yet. So other than that, we always start our show out with shout outs. So shout outs, Brian, you got any shout outs this week?
Yeah. The first shout out is one I kind of do every year, and it's a little bit earlier this year. It's our family puts on a charity golf outing for the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation, same charity that we donated to with our live show at Melt. So usually it's in July, August this year. We're bumping it up because my brother is coming in from Chicago for out of town. So happy to have him and a couple other family members coming from out of town and a bunch of locals. So this year we're playing out at Shale Creek. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's a great cause, and this gives me an opportunity to let everyone know out there that this is your yearly reminder to go ahead and donate to whatever charity is near and dear to your heart, whatever it may be. So yeah, it's a fun time for me to see family, to see friends, and to honor my dad. He's been gone 15 years now in July. So the time flies, and he's the one that gave me the love for sports and the love for Cleveland sports. So think about him often, especially when I'm doing this show. So yeah, always happy and proud to shout that out.
All right, Sherry, you got any shout outs tonight?
Okay, I got 2.
2.
Okay, let me put up Ed's. Also, D-Day. Is it happy? I guess. Not to the guys that perished in Normandy, but thank you for that. Way to bring it up, Ed. Also, I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine who's a chef, and his inspiration and recommendation for underrated foods. He's at Crypto Knife on Twitter. Real chef, like legit chef, not like fun cooking people like myself. Like he gets paid to cook.
Okay. All right. Is that all for tonight?
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Oh, you're fine. All right. We're switching out to the big fella. Big fella's coming in the big screen now. One shout out I got to do is Bri. You have met Big Matt. He has been part of our show, Matthew Brown. We are doing a fundraiser / benefit dinner for him at Mr. B's coming up on June 24th. He was diagnosed with throat cancer. He is now out of the treatments and everything else, but everybody knows how hospital bills are. Right. As they come in, we are doing a benefit dinner at Mr. B's from 6 to 9 p.m. It is a $25 ticket that gets you food, gives you draft beer, gives you well drinks. All right, come out. We're going to have a 50-50. We're going to have some baskets out. We are also going to have a little mini pool tournament going on behind the scenes. So if you want to come out and please help out, a dear friend of mine, love him to death. Can't thank him enough for things he's done for me. So at least I can do this for him. So, and if you don't want to go and do a ticket or anything else and you want to donate, we are taking donations. Hit me up here and I'll get your info and everything. We'll go from there. And Bri, the surprise I have for you is, Bri, 3 years ago from yesterday, you and I started an adventure together. Yesterday was our 3-year anniversary of Illegal Ham to the Face.
Wow.
Our first episodes, I think there was 4 of them, were put out on June 5th, 2020. And Bri, it has been an adventure ever since. Can you believe it's been 3 years since we started Legal Ham to the Face?
No, I can't. I still have very fond memories of the first few shows. I believe we recorded the first 2 shows in one shot, and the first one show was the Browns draft from that year, and the other one was Browns free agency. I think that was the Jed Wills draft, if I'm not mistaken.
I think.
Is that right?
I think it was.
It was, yeah, because it was COVID time. It was like, well, we both got nothing to do. We've been talking about doing this for a while, so let's do it. And I urge, I don't know if you still can. Hopefully, you can go on to any of your streaming services where you get your podcasts, and you can go back and listen to those early episodes. Is that right? Can you still hear them?
Yes. Spotify. Go to our Spotify page, and you can find all of our past episodes from Illegal Ham to the Face, even the meat to bread ratios, the arguments of is bacon enough bacon or not enough bacon, and there's always too much bacon or not enough. We also got into a whole bunch of other ones with free agency, the always the fun ones with the cheap seat boys, the cheap ham parties that we used to have with the boys down there. Now, Brian, why did you listen to this? Out of those 3 years, just on Spotify, this isn't anything else. All right, just on Spotify alone, we have almost 5,000 plays on Spotify in those 3 years. So
very cool.
Go subscribe to us. If you can't catch us live, catch us there. I always try to put out the audio tonight after the show, so everybody kind of has the audio for the next day. They can listen to it if they want to, because I know some of the guys that listen to us work the next day and they kind of pick it up for us then. And I'm sorry about my headphones last night, Brian, because, you know, those 3 years, this is 3-year-old equipment now that we are using. And my headphones finally kind of took a crap. So we're there now.
Well, I remember the very first show, we just had one microphone and we were passing it back and forth, Sherry, just to give you a visual, because we didn't do video back then. It was just a podcast recorded and put out. And if you listen closely, well, you might not even have to listen that closely because it's pretty prominent. You can hear us. Let's say, the stand needed a little WD-40 because he would talk for a couple minutes and then you just hear, oh, yeah, I agree with you, Jared.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Just for one episode, I think it was.
Yeah, but that wasn't as bad as me trying to figure out how to use the USB mic as we were going one time. And I finally figured out that we were going off the mic on the computer, not the USB, because I'm sitting there going, Brian, why do you sound like you're so far away from the microphone? Like you're talking into it. That's because he's across the room trying to talk into the computer, not the microphone.
But
So we've come a long way.
You figured it out.
Yeah, I started laughing when I did. I'm like, man, we sound so much better at your house, Brian. Why do we sound like crap at my house? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Oh, here we go.
Asbestos. It's asbestos.
Oh my God. Hey, and the things that we've done back behind the scenes of just laughing, screwing things up. Just
blooper reel.
Something, Sherry, you're a part of it now. I do want to thank Vinny. If he watches or listens anymore, I doubt he does.
Absolutely. No.
I can't thank Vinny enough for the time that he spent with us and had fun with us because, man, we did have a blast. And then everybody that's watched, Justin, Ed in Columbus, going all the way back to, Pat and Adam and all the guys at work. You had the Godin boys helping us get it set up and everything like that. You had Kyle hooking us up with our audio guy. You had Paulie, who got us our podcast art to start out with the pig.
Yeah.
So
good stuff.
I just want to thank everybody. I mean, it's 3 years. Brian, I didn't think it would last this long, but man, we still keep chugging. We're having more fun doing it now. Now that we got like Melt involved, we got all these other people we've had on. I mean, just think we've had on Eric Metcalf. We've had on Ken Carter.
Super cool.
We just had on guests and fun times with these people, and it's just been a blast. And I just want to keep doing it and have fun because that's what we set out to do, Brian, is have fun with this show.
Oh yeah, it's been a blast, and it revolves around our love for the city of Cleveland and their sports teams, and hopefully we're in a better place now than we were when we started. At least for a couple teams we are, but
no, I don't know, Bri, if Fatty told you, but Illegal Ham was the first Cleveland podcast that I started watching when I moved here.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not. How the heck did you find us?
I don't know, but I'm I can relate to these gentlemen very much.
Oh, well.
She's just calling Legal Ham, and she's like, oh, I'm in. Let me get my big boy pants on. I'm in.
I immediately changed to stretchy pants, pulled out a turkey leg. I'm like, it's on.
I don't have to feel bad about myself anymore.
No, never. Remember,
Brian, you ready to get into our trivia?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let me get everything set up here. We're going to keep you on for just a little bit more here, sweetheart. Trivia is brought to you by City Dogs of Cleveland, and our dog of the week this week, Bri, is Norton. All right. Now, with a little name like that, you think, oh man, I wonder what this dog's going to look like. They had to bring his glamour shots. There's no play shots. This guy gets dolled up for the camera. Look at this guy.
Oh,
look at that. Bang, right there. And everything. Come on, let me play.
Velvet couch. Wow. And a bow tie.
Old 57-pound
I didn't see that.
playful mess. He usually keeps his kennel clean, which is, I guess, he's housebroken. He takes treats nicely, can sit on command, and is learning down. He seems highly trainable with a treat motivation. He has been participating on his leash manners and turned out to be a gentle leader on long trips. He has a sensitive side where he wants to cuddle up and be next to somebody. Older children for him, not young ones, because he likes to jump around and play also. And he is still trying to figure out what to do with the love and attention he gets from people at the kennel. It's a delight to see him come out of his shell. So please adopt Norton from City Dogs of Cleveland. We'll put the ticker down here at the bottom. This is how you get a hold of them. We do have a huge announcement next week pairing up with City Dogs that Brian and I are very excited to announce. And I think Sherry's excited with us too, because it's got to do with a little bit of Fat Boy Tuesday, a little bit of Browns, and a little bit of everything. So please go to City Dogs of Cleveland, get a hold of them if you can adopt Norton. If not, there's other adoptable dogs there. Please adopt a dog from City Dogs. They've been part of our show pretty much ever since the beginning, Brian. We went to a tailgate. They were there and we've been a part of them ever since. And I can't thank them enough and everything that they do. So we go there. And Bri, I believe it is your turn for trivia tonight.
Yep. So I just kind of threw this together maybe a little bit, or last minute, I guess you could say, but I was looking for a topical trivia for this week. And so I went with a golf one, with golf being big in the news right now. So I'm looking for who is the highest rated live golfer in the world golf rankings right now.
Highest rated live golfer in the world. Okay. I think I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Casey, the reason why we were giggling, Casey wrote down here, highly trainable with treat motivation. Me too, Norton. Me too. Pretty much goes with everybody on this show. I mean, oh, you got an oatmeal cream pie there. What do you want me to do? You want me to take out the trash? All right, I'll take out the trash. I got you. All right. Oh, don't start throwing out stuff like that.
Oh, don't look at that.
Sorry, I told you.
Disregard that one.
It wasn't Phil. You can't give up trivia answers out of the gate. Can't do that out of the gate. Later on, you can. All right, Sherry, we will see you on the back. Oh, first off, before we kick Sherry out of here, you have got to put something in the comments. I completely forgot. Prayers out to Jimmy Donovan, the voice of your Cleveland Browns. Brian, that was the other one that we wanted to get to before we got into anything else. His cancer has come back. He is going to go through treatments. Sherry is putting a link out in the comments. You can actually email Jim Donovan and send him well wishes if you want to. Justin, why don't you throw in one of those little naughty children books in with that one too? He might like that one.
Seriously.
But he is still going to try to work through the Brown season. He's not taking Brown season off, but he is going through treatments and stuff again. And our prayers and well wishes are out to him and his family from everybody here at Legal Ham to the Face. All right, Brian, did I do good on that one?
Well, let me just, I don't know if Sherry has anything to add, but just quickly before we get to you, Sherry, it was a kick in the groin for the entire city to hear this news, and he's gone through it and he's beat it before, and we have faith that he will go through it and beat it again, especially because medicine is so much better and the treatments in this city are top notch. They're world class.
I'll give you my opinion when you're done.
So he's in good hands, and I think it was maybe 2001 or early 2000s last time he was diagnosed with leukemia, and so certainly for me, with it being the week of the golf outing and it being blood cancer related, it hit home for me. But to speak to the guy that Jimmy Donovan is, everyone, you listen to the radio and you listen to these personalities on the radio, and it always seems like you have some people like this guy, some people can't stand that guy. You don't want to listen to this guy between these hours. But I mean, there's one thing that we can all agree on is Jim Donovan is just a tremendous human being, and he's somebody that we can't get enough of. So we are firmly behind him and his family, and like you said, lots of prayers go out to them. And number one thing for him is to get healthy, but I have a lot of faith that he will, and that he will get past this again, and he will be there for the formidable years of the Cleveland Browns when we start making playoff pushes, and very happy for that.
Okay. He's getting treatment at Seidman, which was part of an institution that I was part of. In my humble opinion, I think it's the best in the city, hands down. I have all the faith in the world with their MDs, their researchers, things they have going on in the pipelines, success rates and whatnot, statistics. Jewish Mother Time, Mr. Donovan, rest. Please rest, hydrate.
Sure.
I know chemo is a firebomb. Do listen to your body and don't push yourself. I mean, we love you very much and we want you here. Don't push yourself. If you don't feel good, listen to your body always. We'd rather have you, like Big Bry said, for the future than this season.
Exactly. Yeah.
And sorry to cut you off. Just real quick, one thing that I took from his long announcement that he was talking about his battle, he said he started not feeling right a year and a half ago. And so he's been battling this already for a year and a half, and he didn't want to tell anybody. He didn't want to make it about himself. So that's something that I took away, that like he finally reached the point to where he might have to start missing some time. And so he needs to explain it. And so, I mean, just his announcement and how he came out and said it, it was just all class. And yeah, again, I reiterate that the whole city's behind him. And like I say about a couple other people that have come across, people at work, you know, if you have a problem with Jim Donovan, you got a problem with yourself, because I don't know how anybody couldn't like him.
Absolutely.
One of the nicest guys that you can come across, and he'll talk to anybody and everybody. He's just a lovable man. Right here is in our comments right there. That's, get well Jim at WKYC.com.
Oh, I thought I messed it up when you did that.
No, I got a little dyslexia. I like to add in stuff.
Okay.
But send him an email, send him some well wishes. Justin, we're not going to bring up your comment right now, but yes, that would
too early.
That would be an amazing book for you to send to him, because I'm pretty sure he would get a giggle out of that one. On that note, we are going to transfer over. I'm going to boot Sherry out until Fat Boy Tuesday, and we're going to get into the Cleveland headlines. Brian, you ready?
Sure.
Still looking at the fatty fail right in front of me, just staring at that thing. All right, to start off tonight, news broke today out of Cleveland that Greg Newsom, Perrion Winfrey were held at gunpoint sometime over the weekend and had a vehicle / jewelry stolen. Also, Dimitri Felton had a car stolen, Dodge Durango, super hyper speed or whatever it was. So as of right now, we got that in the news, which we shouldn't have that in the news. I guess Newsom came out in the news that it was 6 armed gunmen that held him up at 3:00 in the morning as he was leaving a night establishment. Ended up stealing his car, stealing his jewelry. Could have been a lot worse, Brian, than what it was. I mean, I'm just glad that nothing bad happened. Granted, yes, somebody got their car stolen, but it could have been a lost life. And for that to happen here in Cleveland, especially to a Browns player, that shouldn't ever happen. And especially downtown, he was on West 6th and West 7th at the bars down there having a good time during his mini camp. So didn't know if you knew that news that came out today, Bri, but being held at gunpoint and getting stuff taken from you is not fun. He went out on Twitter and said it's a cruel world out there. It really is. And I truly believe that with him, because you're out to have a good time with your friends, and that happens as you're leaving. That's no fun. And it makes you think twice about everything in life. So, Brian, do you have a reaction to them being held up and everything that has been going on with the 3 guys that just came out today?
And I also believe, I don't know if it was officially reported, but it sounds like Deshaun Watson had his vehicle stolen from a dealership, what they're talking about today, and they ended up finding it. But yeah, I mean, the only thought that I kind of have that can be, kind of translated to the Browns and the on the field stuff is, now's the time, and even into the season, you have to be smart. I know I'm not going to put blame on Newsom and Winfrey for being out there and for being held up, but I mean, you got to be smart with the people you surround yourself with. You have to be smart with the decisions you make. And, the old adage is nothing good ever happens after 2:00 in the morning. I don't know what that was. So yeah, it's unfortunate for sure. And, there's so many people that are out there that are wanting to do bad things and that are unpredictable. So you even if you could be doing everything right in the world, if you're in a bad area or at a bad time, you leave yourself susceptible to stuff like this, unfortunately. So just have to be smart with the people you hang around with and the places you go, because these guys, no doubt, are targets when they're pulling up with $70,000-$80,000 cars. You run into the wrong crowd and they're going to want that car. So yeah, just be smart. Thankfully, nobody was hurt in this instance, and pray that everything works out. But yeah, just it makes me worry because the future is unpredictable, and these guys are going to want to go out and do fun things and stay out till all hours of the night, and just makes you nervous that hopefully they're making the right decisions.
Bri, you remember when you were 23, 24, 25?
Oh yeah, no, and I'm not sitting on my high horse saying that I didn't do stupid things like that, but as somebody who's been there, done that, and didn't have nearly as much to lose as they do, I don't know. I'm just an old man speaking to a younger generation, I guess, and just hoping that nobody gets affected and their playing time isn't hurt by a result of these terrible, terrible people that are out there on the streets.
Yeah, and I know Myles Garrett came out and said today, after, because they got him in a press conference after mini camp today, he said, well, it looks like we got a lot more work to do in the community. And and that's kind of the case too, because that shouldn't happen in Cleveland to anybody. I know we're a bigger city, I know it does happen, but it was in a parking garage, like Dimitri Felton's car. They saw the people come in the parking garage, bust out his window and steal his car. Okay, 4:00 in the morning. You shouldn't have to worry about that, but unfortunately that's the world we live in today, and you do have to worry about stuff like that. And Sherry's typing in an inside job. She said there's a rat in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, but the reality of the world we live in today is just there's always going to be 1 or 2 or 3 or 100 or 500 bad people in the world. So there's no way you can fix everybody. There's always going to be people out there committing crime. So you just have to just hope that you're in a good enough situation. But even if you are, yeah, nobody's perfect, and bad stuff happens. So it's just an unfortunate event, I guess is what I'm saying. We can't really take anything at all from this. There's just
just glad everybody.
Bad stuff happens.
I mean, that could have been a complete tragedy right there. Even if they tried to fight back a little bit, and you never know what's going to happen. But I mean, just sheer fact that nobody got hurt. He did get his helmet back. That's the one bonus. They found his helmet later on, because his helmet was in the car. They found his helmet later on, I think at a curb somewhere, but car is still not found. So just got to keep an eye on this. Also, Bri, news came out today that DHop is still available, Bri. I haven't heard anything come down. The odds that the Browns snag him up keep staggering up, and people still keep talking about DHop coming to Cleveland. I've listened to everything from 92.3 to ESPN 850 to the writers, to everybody else saying that, yeah, it could happen. It couldn't happen. Some people believe it will. Some people believe it won't. So we're still on a DHop watch, because people think the chemistry between him and Deshaun Watson is a big thing that they need to have here in Cleveland. You and I got into a little bit of it last week and the week before, if we'd rather have DHop here or not. You were, Pro Bowler, why not have him here? I was kind of on the other side of it. Have you changed at all about DHop coming to Cleveland?
I mean, I do go back and forth, because honestly, deep down at the end of the day, I really don't want him here, if I'm going to be totally honest, because I'm with you. It stunts the growth of Moore, it stunts the growth of DPJ, and it stunts the growth of Tillman. But like I was kind of trying to convey last week, there's no given with those guys. Those guys could flame out and just not be anything, and then we're stuck with Amari Cooper and not a whole lot else. So, like, I know it's kind of a fight between my brain and my heart. My heart says I want to see these young guys because I want them to have success and succeed. But my brain says I've seen this guy be very, very good, and I've seen him be very, very good with our quarterback. So why wouldn't I want him on our team? So it's the, one in the hand, two in the bush type argument. Like, this guy's a given. He's going to be good. I know that. These guys, I hope, are going to be good. So, yeah, I go back and forth. But I do believe that the Browns are a better team with Hopkins.
All right. So you say that, but I want to bring up with the reports, like Albert Breer came out and said that it'd be like getting a Julio Jones. He's not going to practice. He's just pretty much going to show up for games because his body's beat up. He also had a suspension for PEDs because obviously he needs them now to actually get back on the field and play. I know he can pretty much catch anything air, but he's still he's not 2017 DHop that everybody thinks that he is going to be. Because I have a feeling like everybody is just looking at it like, yeah, he's coming here. He's going to be the 2017. They did great then, blah, 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 blah. I think people are looking at DHop from 2 years more ago than what he is now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's still a great receiver. I'm not saying he's not, but he's not the top elite like he was. I think he's a middle of the road wide receiver right now. And even with Deshaun Watson, I think that's all he's really going to be. And if you bring him in here, they're talking like he wants OBJ money. He wants $15 million a year. Now, if we get him for $5 million, shit, yeah, sign me up. I'll take that D-Hop for $5 million. But that's not what he's going to want. So, I mean, do you think that he can get us? And this is the one thing that I get the most. And Ken Carmen said, is he going to get us extra wins by coming here? Are we still, let's say we're a 10-7 team. Adding him, is that going to make us 11-6, 12-5? Or are we still going to be 10-7? Like, if that's the case, then why spend the money on a guy that you're going to get hit on the cap next year for this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not standing up here and saying that it's a sure thing. It's kind of funny that it's kind of mirrors the same discussion that we have with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was good a couple years ago, and last time we saw him, so we hope he's still going to be good. Now, I know Hopkins is a couple years older than Deshaun Watson and plays a different position, but Hopkins is the same age as Devontae Adams. So it's not like you can't be 30, 31 years old and it's not like they're running backs that they just fall off the hill after 30. So he can still be good, and that's what you hope he is. And last year, you mentioned the PEDs, so he only played, I think, 2/3 of their games. And he played in, what we all kind of assume is a pretty terrible offense with a quarterback who is descending. And, you just hope that he can get the spark with Deshaun back. And so, yeah, it's a risk. But it would be a guy that has had success in this league, and you just hope he can regain it. But by no means do you sign him and put him right into the Pro Bowl. And, yeah, he's crazy to be wanting Beckham money. He's not crazy to be wanting it because he's probably as good, if not better, of a player than Beckham. But the Ravens overpaid a lot to get Beckham just to get their quarterback happy and try to convince him to stay, and it worked. So you got to give them credit. But yeah, if Hopkins wants a 3-year deal for $13 million a year, I'm not doing that. A 1-year deal, as long as we can stay under the cap, I'll sign him for a year. Whatever it takes. I don't care if it's $15 million, as long as it keeps us under the cap. Whether it's 5 or 15, it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, it's hard for me because I don't have a strong take either way. I just I know what I felt because there was a lot of talk last Friday that this is like, I think somebody said this is at the 1 yard line, and they're going to punch it in, and he's going to be a Brown, and I think we still might be the favorites to get him. But I know the feeling that I had when I thought, like, wow, this is really going to happen, and I can't say I was super happy because they started talking about, like, well, DPJ is probably going to ask for a trade now, so because he's not going to see the field a whole lot, so we're probably going to have to get rid of him. Tillman, he's probably not going to see a whole lot of playing time. And I just think of how deep our wide receiver room is. And Goodwin, with his speed, he probably wouldn't see the field a whole lot. So, I'm excited about these other guys other than Amari Cooper. And I really think their playing time would take a hit if we get them. But I don't know. even after having this discussion, I go back and forth. It's something that you've seen. And he would by far have the most chemistry with our quarterback, who we're trying to get back to that elite level. And so why wouldn't you want that guy on the team is what I keep telling myself.
Hey, Sherry, can you write down the time right now for the show? Because I want to ask Brian a serious question. And I want to clip this later on and put it out there, Brian, because you are the biggest Browns fan I know. All right. And you think with your head, also your heart, because you hope things that are going to happen are going to happen. But you also are realistic about everything. And with your head, you actually understand. You don't go off the 480 bridge head first if something horrible happens, because you understand what's going on. Is it the fact that some of the Browns fans, like myself, I think back to it now, is it because of we've been burned so many times on these big name free agents that we've brought in that have not panned out the way we were thought they were going to pan out? And we're just kind of like, why are we bringing in a big name like that if he's an older guy, he's a veteran? Because I understand he's not Kenny Britt. I know that, and that name keeps coming up. And I know he's not Dwayne Bowe, but also we didn't have a really good OBJ when OBJ was here when we traded for him. We had an okay OBJ, but like, is it because we've never had that one free agent really come in here and set a tone and actually do good for us that people are kind of like, I really don't want DHop? I mean, is he still that talented that he should be here?
I think it's a mixture of a bunch of different things. I think that absolutely 100% has a lot to do with it, because we talk ourselves into Clowney and how great he was, and former number 1 overall pick. And like you said, Landry and OBJ, greatly were undervalued here and underperformed here. And so it's almost like the only like big name free agents that we signed that we get excited about are like offensive linemen or, somebody. It's just everybody we've brought in over the last few years. Every acquisition we've had has been a disappointment. So I don't blame them for that. But and maybe with the exception a little bit of Amari Cooper last year, but we still didn't see this offense look how we wanted it to look. But he was our leading receiver. But it was kind of like, well, who else would it be? So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of that. And I think a lot of people start looking around and wondering, well, does Hopkins still have it? How come nobody else is willing to trade any assets for him? How come he hasn't signed yet? If he's that good, why wasn't he gobbled up within the first few hours? How come nobody wants to give him OBJ money? And I think, the same discussions, the same issues we're talking about right now are the same issues that are going on in front offices. Like, well, does he still have it? Well, was it the PEDs? I've heard it mentioned that that Hopkins kind of felt his body, his physical abilities starting to slip. So that's why he started taking the PEDs to try to bust through that, try to make him faster again, more athletic again. And so he knows in his head that he's losing it a little bit. Otherwise, why would he do it? So, yeah, I mean, like I said before, it's a risk. It's not a given. So if you sign him, I'll be optimistic about it. But if you don't, I'll be okay with it too, because I got plenty of guys in that wide receiver room to get excited about. But yeah, it could go either way. We could be sitting here in October and saying, man, why didn't we go all in for DeAndre Hopkins? What were we thinking? Moore is looking like the Jets more. DPJ is looking like a 6-rounder, just have no chemistry with Deshaun Watson. What were we thinking? And so there's no way to tell the future. He's a free agent, so he's going to be a risk. And I don't have a firm answer either way for you, unfortunately.
All right, I'm going to go through the comments real quick, Sherry. Casey said, he goes, DHop is drawing this out till training camp. At the earliest, he's already missed OTAs and minicamp. That's a veteran move on everybody. Clowney has done that too.
Sure.
So we might not even hear anything until probably a couple weeks before the season starts, depending on if somebody blows his socks off. Ed, now this is the one that I want to bring up, Brian, because Ed said, he goes, I want D-Hop because if Cooper gets hurt, we have a bunch of 2s and 3s mostly. Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but we don't know because they're unproven. We don't know what Deshaun Watson is going to be. We don't know what DPJ and Elijah Moore are going to be this year, and Tillman and all that. So I get what you're saying is it's a guy that you're bringing in that you know is proven that can do something. But, I mean, is he a legit one again? He would have to take over at that point in time a team with Amari Cooper who has the exact same skill set as him, who is a position receiver, who can, and Cooper, I believe, is faster and younger than him. So you have similar guys playing on similar sides. I think they kind of want to keep the differential treatment there with our wide receivers, especially with the speed guys and DPJ being a more bigger physical guy. I don't know, Brian. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, certainly if I see what Ed's talking about, that Cooper's the only proven guy we really have. The other guys are very talented and have huge upside, but they just haven't proven it yet. And you could argue that it's because of the quarterbacks that they've played with. But that might also be an excuse because once we get them with an elite guy like Deshaun Watson, if they just don't have chemistry, then it's just not going to work. So, I think it's like literally from conversation to conversation, I can talk myself into either way. Like, we need this guy or we're fine without him.
We're going to the Super Bowl. Or we're finishing 1-16. Here we go.
Then, I think last week I was watching some clip or I saw something on NFL Network to where they were talking to Daniel Jeremiah and they asked him, hey, what's a no-name guy who nobody's talking about right now that you think could be essentially a Pro Bowler or, far exceed their expectations or become a household name? And the guy he brought up was Cedric Tillman. So that got me excited about that. So I'm like, I want to see that guy on the field. If this expert thinks that he's going to be really good, I want to see that on the field. I don't want to have to wait a year to see it. I have no Andrew Berry has a difficult job enough. He doesn't need me telling him what to do. And I'm jumping from tree to tree here, and I really have nothing. I'm flailing at this point, like, oh yeah, get him, don't get him, whatever. I'm either going to call you a dumbass or you're going to be a genius.
So Cooper turns 29 next week, so he's 2 years younger than D-Hop. And also, I got to throw this one right back at Ed. Ed said Fatty is still scared from the Andre Rison signing in 1995.
Whoa. No, you were a Bengals fan back then.
Joke's on you, buddy. I didn't become a Browns fan until 99.
I'm still, and Ed's a 49ers fan, so he can't relate either.
No, Ed in Columbus isn't. That's James.
Oh,
James is the
James.
49ers. Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry, Ed. Yeah.
You gotta get our hands right.
Ed's got a picture of him in a Browns gear. I should have known that. I just can't see.
He dresses
comes up tiny.
He dresses up like the greatest coach ever, Woody.
Oh gosh. Come on, Ed.
The one that will punch you in the face when you intercept a ball wrong.
Oh yeah, right. Hey, I get it. Hey, you made a play against my team. How dare you? Sucker punch.
Punch you right in the face. All right, Brian, here is the next bit of news that came down today, and it was about 40 minutes before we came on the show. The PGA and Live Tour have merged. And you want to talk about a cash cow that's about to get richer, Bry. The PGA is going to hold the majority shares, so it will be PGA, but the Saudi are backed firm with all the money they got going on there. It's going to, Bry, it makes me wish that I kept playing golf when I was in high school, because the amount of money these guys are going to make now on tour is going to be just stupid money. And most of it is already. You and I joked around the one time we looked it up, and if you finished even par in every tournament that you played in the PGA tournament, if you had a chance to play, not even the majors, you just shot even par, that year you would have made $7.5 million just shooting even par, Bry. Even par for the whole year.
That's crazy. I haven't heard that.
And Ed said that player ran into Woody and he was stretching. That is true.
That's right. Why would you punch a guy with a helmet, though? I still don't understand that.
Well, I don't know why they do it all the time. At least be like Myles Garrett and take it off and try to kill him with it.
You said that. I didn't say that. Oh, I mean, if he's wearing black and yellow.
Speculation. He wasn't trying to kill him with it. He was just trying to
send a message.
You know, jeez.
Oh, I mean, don't get me started on that, because I got to hold. I mean, you call it a fatty on fire, but it would, and I've been holding it. I don't even know if I might have done it back in the fall with Aaron Donald swinging his helmet, and people that were saying Myles Garrett was supposed to go to jail were saying Aaron Donald shouldn't be penalized at all. Yeah, you want to see the hypocrisy?
Well, Bry, I had to do it. I mean, if it's Big Bry's big take, it's got to go on right?
I think I can't remember if I did this or not, but I don't know what had me thinking of it the other day. But
it was Booger McFarland. That big old.
It was Booger McFarland. It was Stephen A. saying Myles Garrett should go to jail, and then boys will be boys when Aaron Donald does the exact same thing, but because he's a Super Bowl champion. Mm-hmm. And more importantly, he's a media darling because he plays in Hollywood. Well, he's fine. He's good.
Right. What it is at the time, it was practice. It wasn't a real game. It was practice.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, let's justify it by that. Or this one was on national TV, and this one was just in practice. Like, okay, so you're telling me if I kill somebody on live TV, or I kill somebody while somebody's taking a phone video, and it's, I get 2 life sentences for doing it on live TV, but I only get maybe 5 years for doing it if somebody's taking a video on their phone. Give me a break. It's the exact same crime, and yeah, it's just, you wonder why people start thinking that there's a bias against Cleveland. It's that right there. One guy's painted as, a criminal, and the other guy, well, he got a little hot under the collar.
Yeah. Break. All right, so Brian, we're going to go back. The big take is over with now.
Yeah, you brought that up. How do we go from golf to
I don't know, but so
sorry.
Said the PGA Tour bogeyed on morals, but birdied in the money. It was bound to happen at some point in time. Everybody, there's a price tag for everybody, Bri. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, when they offer Tiger Woods $800 million to run live golf, and he turned down, but Tiger Woods is a billionaire. It doesn't matter what he has.
Sure.
But I mean, just the guys that they were going for were decent guys wanting a good payday instead of trying to do the grind of the PGA Tour. They wanted the guaranteed money outright and just enjoy their life. And I get that. I mean, it's like winning the lottery going, okay, if I win the lottery, I still got to work, but I'm getting a lump sum every year. Or do I take the full or, the 30-year annually, or do I take the lump sum and just be done with it? Take the lump sum and be done with it. But with this merging and everything like that, Bri, I think it's good for both PGA Tour. Plus, it brings tournaments into different golf courses. right?
Mhm.
I mean, that's the one big thing I take away from it. You're going to see golf courses that you've never seen before, and people you've either have heard of before or up and comers that you've never seen, because this includes the European tour too, Bri.
Yeah, I did hear that, and I guess I'm excited. I'm happy that that it gets all the best golfers in the world together, playing against each other and competing against each other again. But for some reason, I hate this, because it almost penalizes the people for being loyal. And loyalty to me is very underrated. It's one of the most important things that a person can be, is to be loyal to people that are good to them. And so these people that bounced and chased the money, I don't blame them one bit, but I just feel terrible for the people that stood back and said, nope, PGA gave me my lifestyle that I have now. They've been very good to me, and they stayed with them. They're almost penalized now, because you tell me, hey, you go take a lump sum of $100 million. You only have to be out of the tour for 2 years, and then you can come right back. Who wouldn't do that? They would have lost everybody to live golf. So I hope somehow, some way that they can make it better for the people that stuck around. I don't think they will. I don't think they can. But yeah, guys like, obviously Rory McIlroy has enough money, so I don't feel too bad for him. But just, yeah, I don't know. It makes me sick that these people who, for lack of a better term, said screw you, I'm going to go take the money. Now they're brought right back, and these people who are staying here the whole time, they get nothing, and everyone else is $100 million richer.
Well, we'll see what happens after this merger. We'll see how tournaments plan out. I mean, I understand what you're saying, Bri. A lot of those guys really did stick back with the PGA Tour.
They'll get nothing for it. They'll get nothing for their loyalty.
But no, hold on. With the merge, though, they're getting a shit ton more money they're going to be playing for, though. I mean, it's not like, hey, the purses of like $3 million U.S. Open, it's going to be like $10 to $12 million they're going to be playing for the major tournaments. I mean, that's how much money is being backed into this, Bri. It's going to be a different game changer of, yeah, I didn't take the lump sum right out of the gate, but this is better for me because I'm better than some of those golfers anyways, that I can come through, win a tournament, and guess what? I got lifetime changing money instead of just wealth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And in a year, 2 years, this will all be water under the bridge, and they'll say they're better for it, which absolutely that's the case. But right now in the moment, it's hard to not, if I left and went to another podcast and they gave me, $100,000, and then next year I came back and you're sitting here with nothing, and I was like, well, you should have came with me. You're going to be pretty upset at me and upset probably with yourself that you didn't just go take the cash grab, because you could just eventually come back and do what we're doing.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know where you live at, and I would slash your tires.
I just buy more. I have $100,000. I get a helicopter and just kind of loop around your house and keep you awake all night.
All right, so going back to Big Bri's big take, Casey has got one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Said the NFL reviewed the Aaron Donald footage and determined that the proper cause of action was to drug test Myles Garrett.
Throw him in jail. Yeah, this is Myles' fault. He gave him the idea.
No, Fatty hasn't had anything. Okay, so Sherry's trying to get a Fatty on fire. It has been a while since I've had like a true Fatty on fire, and I haven't really had anything to be fired up against yet. It might be with the Guardians here coming soon, but it's time to bring Sherry in, and it is time for hey, guess what? We're skipping the guards again, Bri.
Well, what are we going to now? Are you going to go to Fat Boy Tuesday?
Heck yeah.
So I just about 5 minutes ago, I got a message that I got to wrap it up soon. So do you want to, can we do the top three, and then you and Sherry can do the Fat Boy Tuesday?
Yeah, let's do the top three, and then we'll do the trivia.
Go.
All right. Top three. Here we go. and we'll add Sherry and Bry. So, I went last week. We were doing our top favorite female singers because of Tina Turner passing away last week or a week and a half ago. And I threw out, I believe I had Leanne Rimes, Shania Twain, and Lizzie Hale as my top 3 female vocalists right now. And then I kind of just shut off the show. So, Brian, why don't you give me your top 3 favorite female vocalists?
Okay, I got you. Let me just say, this was really difficult for me. I couldn't really trim it down to 3, and then I had 3, and then I'm like, well, I listened to.
How many Judds are in your top 3?
No, they were in the conversation probably, and there's just counts as one because they were the Judds. It wasn't they weren't separate.
You didn't separate them all?
Nope. But then today I hear a Lori Morgan song from the '90s, and I'm like, wow, it's pretty good. She's got a couple bangers. Maybe I should. So here's what I did. I didn't want to go all country. You probably thought maybe I would. So my number 3 is Kelly Clarkson. I remember early 2000s when she was putting out music. I mean, she was Taylor Swift before Taylor Swift. Plus, she was the original American Idol. So, I mean, that voice translates to many different genres. So she's my number 3. Number 2, I'm surprised you didn't have her because you love her as an actress so much. Reba.
Oh, I love Reba.
Yeah, I know. So I felt like, well, I'll bring her up since she's multi-talented and certainly she's got a ton of good songs. And then I'll go number 1, another American Idol. I'll go Carrie Underwood. Maybe I've just been listening to too many of her songs lately, but she would be my number 1, maybe because she's my hall pass. I don't know. My wife knows already, so don't worry about that.
All right, let me get the trivia real quick from you. You said the top money guy on the Live Tour. I'm going to go.
Yep. No. Top rated, highest rated Live guy right now.
Koepka or Dustin Johnson?
Neither.
What? Shut up.
Koepka was. I didn't see Dustin Johnson. I didn't go down too far, but Koepka was like 12th, maybe 13th. This guy's like 8th or 9th.
Who is it?
Cam Smith.
I don't even know. Oh, I do know who Cam Smith is.
Yeah, the guy with the mullet and the mustache. You know.
Yeah, that guy. That guy that looks like he should be racing NASCAR. That guy.
Yeah.
That guy. All right.
Yep.
All right, Brian. Well, we'll boot you out of here. Go have fun with the
Thanks,
wife.
guys. Sorry I had to run. Yep.
Hey, it is what it is. We get it. See you, brother.
See you, Sherry. Bye.
You, Bri.
All right, Sherry, me and you. So give me your top 3.
Okay.
Favorite.
Sorry, there was some very loud snacking going on here, so that's why I had to mute. Next week, headphones.
Yeah, gotta get it.
Okay. So I'm gonna do no specific order. It just pops in. No, I'm wrong. Okay. 3, I'm gonna go with the worst singer I've ever heard in my entire life, my mother, because I love her so much. And I love hearing her awful singing. So she's number 3.
Like, how bad is it? Is it like
do you want me to get a recording for you?
We might have to get one next week. I'm not going to lie, because if it sounds like, and what I'm picturing, and don't take this the wrong way, I'm picturing Marge's sisters on The Simpsons.
No, it's more like, wait, what did she always sing to us? It would be like Crosby, Stills, Nash in a voice like this.
Okay. All right. Close to what I was thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Number 2.
Okay, so that's number 3. Number 2, I'm going with Susie from Susie and the Banshees. Completely underrated. Beautiful voice like an angel. Doesn't get the credit she deserves. Since we're going with underrated food, I'm going with an underrated sleeper singer, Susie. Her last name is, there's too many S's and U's. It was like Susie Smooth, whatever. Number 1, my number 1 most favorite since I'm in high school, Missy Elliott.
Oh, okay. So you went with a rap artist.
Hip hop, avant-garde, brilliant woman.
I'm not
her
saying
videos Her videos were game changers in the 90s.
Especially with You Can't Stand the Rain.
Exactly. And the Mega Man suit with the
I know.
Missy. Come on.
So Casey said Nancy Wilson, Aretha Franklin, and Lauryn Hill. Man, Lauryn Hill had a voice. I remember Lauryn Hill was just Fugees. That's all I gotta say. Let's see here. Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Karen Carpenter, Patty and Selma. That's who I was thinking of. Patty and Selma.
Yes. Well, it's funny because they're twins and I have a twin, so I'm like, Dana, that's us.
And Justin said he kind of wants to hear your mom sing.
We could work on that, Justin.
All right, Sherry, are you ready? You've been waiting for this all day, haven't you?
Been chomping at the bit.
I know you have. You just got to wait one more second.
Okay.
And now it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
All right, it is time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
I'm drooling.
We are talking underrated foods this week. We went overrated to underrated this week, and now I'd asked you to make a list of the Twitter comments we got on the underrated foods. And the one that I really laughed at the most was the potato. Somebody said the potato is underrated because there are so many different ways and versions you can make with potato. And I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, that was on Twitter at Sir Andy522, aka Andy my bestie. He's advocating for big potato. Apparently, they're slipping him some spuds, something, a couple shekels. I don't know, but he's
couple
big
round
potato.
eyes.
Yeah, something.
Little round eyes. It's all right. I mean, that's fine. We also had
potato.
We also had a tuna melt.
Yes. Yes. I am very excited about this because you don't really ever think about the tuna melt, but when it comes up in the zeitgeist, it's delicious.
Okay, now you and I have got two that we're going to save till later because we're going to get into our reasons why, because mine's a little bit different than probably yours. Also, we had in the comments, we had grilled cheese is underrated. Yes. We had a mac and cheese, I believe, was underrated. What else was there's another one that I saw that I kind of giggled at a little bit that somebody said was underrated. God, what was it? Was it salad?
Yeah, salad made the list.
Salad made the list. I think it was salad.
Yeah, it was salad. It's here, I could read it to you. Salad are very underrated in my opinion. A lot of people see it as a default healthy choice, but when you're able to make your own and put anything in you want, it's the best thing. All right.
And you know something, Ed? I know Chef Boyardee ravioli is underrated because you want to know why?
It tastes like can.
I got 2 cases downstairs for my kids. I'm raising them right.
Yeah, you are.
And we do beefaroni in this house. What? All right.
Totally underrated.
Underrated cauliflower wings, hummus, and salads. There's a
little bit of a bias here in this. There's no meat.
No, I love hummus. Well, he's a vegan.
I figured.
One of those people.
I figured.
But he's a chef though, which is funny. Like he's a legit chef.
Legit chef. He gets paid money, like my buddy.
No. He's an accountant now, but he's a legit chef. Like he makes his own ice cream and shit. Like he makes bourbon ice cream.
Yeah, see, my buddy gets paid to do that.
See, Justin used to get paid doing that. Now he gets paid to do your taxes.
All right, Justin, upgrade.
See, there it is. I got
Sorry. He does not like salad. He hates salad so much.
It's completely fine. One of my underrated items is just a sub, an Italian sub, or just a cold cut combo, just a sub in general. Just you grab a sandwich.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What about cheesesteak? Does that count as a sub? Because it's warm. It's debatable. Is this another controversy? Should we save this for next week?
Because there's a hot sub and there's a cold sub section. And when I think cheesesteak, it's still.
Here, let's save it. We'll save it. Maybe next week we'll do.
And he's trying to make a homemade ice cream business.
Retired. Okay. Excellent.
Okay. Like when I think, damn, you're getting me. Because there's 2 different things. Because I think of grinders. Like when I think subs, like I think of the hot subs that you get at pizza places. that they throw underneath the little conveyor. You get it all melted down, and it tastes so damn good. But then also, I think I like the cold subs that you get from the straight deli that tastes
amazing.
Listen, we are not getting into a hot dog as a taco. These things come from the sub of a hot dog. It's not, no. Stop it. We are waiting until Nick Weary comes on this show for his 4th of July special, and then he can argue with you if a hot dog is a taco. And then you two can hash that. And you want to know why you can hash it out? Because I'm pretty sure he could pop you like a pimple.
Okay, better.
I got now. You and I both agreed on one, and we're going to get into this now. Soups are very underrated, I believe. Now, why do you think that soups are underrated?
Because people take them for granted, but the preparation of soup is extremely complicated, and there's many complex flavor profiles that go into making a really good soup. Like if you have homemade soup that's 100% from scratch, it's incredible. It's life-changing. And you could maybe never even get it again the same way.
No. There's always either too much salt, too less salt.
Exactly. So it could be like a one-in-a-lifetime experience with one specific soup. And I find that extremely underrated. Like, I love soup. I could eat it all year round. I'm from the humid jungle / swamp of Florida. I eat soup all the time. I don't care about weather. I'm like, there was a soup place maybe a mile from the house, and we would go there all the time because they made everything from scratch. And, you know, there were some things that were seasonal and local to that specific part of the ocean, and it was delicious. And I'm never going to get that up here. I'm never going to get that in California. I'm not going to get that anywhere else except that specific restaurant.
Agreed with the flavor profile. It's not complicated.
What about texture? What if you're making something like avgo lemino from Greece? Do you want it thicker? Do you want it thinner? I think it is complicated.
No. You know what I do with soup?
What?
I throw it straight in my Dutch oven and just let it simmer all together.
Yeah. Then it gets a little thick. Yeah.
And then, like, it's almost like the crock pot when you're cooking something in the crock pot and it gets that nice burnt layer on top, and then you mix it in because you know it's burnt as fuck, but you're still going to eat it.
Hell yeah.
Well, like today, the reason why I brought it up is one of the guys, we had corn on the cob. And that's what I think about soup, is because I believe it's a great leftover meal, because you pretty much just take a whole bunch of leftovers, throw it in a pot, throw some chicken stock, some broth in there, maybe some heavy whipping cream, and then bring that thing to a nice little flavor profile or how you want to eat it. But he made corn chowder out of the sweet corn on the cob. And it was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I can cuss now because Brian's not here. This is great. Oh, there it is. There it is. Ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles. Underrated, but not in
ramen. It is ramen noodles.
Ramen.
Ramen. It's not ramen. It's
not
ramen.
Ramen.
Ramen noodles.
Mom.
At least that's what the kids call it.
Do you want to hear my mom say ramen noodles?
Oh, God, I would love to hear that. You know, that'd be hilarious.
Sorry, he hates noodles. No, he actually loves noodles.
Everything. The other one that we agreed upon was meatloaf.
I love meatloaf.
I know.
Oh, my God.
I think it's because I don't get it that often that when I do get it, I get excited for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, I did.
And the other one that I had was green bean casserole, because everybody does it for Thanksgiving, and you and I talked about that. I think,
dude, I could eat that every day.
Now, a weird one, and it's not even weird because it's normally like a kid's thing, peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh my God.
It's so underrated.
My sister teases me all the time. She's like, you have the palate of a 5-year-old, because I'm like, I love a good PBJ. Give me chicken nuggets all the time. Macaroni and cheese. She's like, you have the palate of a 5-year-old. I'm like, I sure do.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
Even potato chips. I think potato chips are
just plain. Like, what is it? Utz, regular plain.
I love Utz.
They're so good. They're my favorite follow on Twitter. They interact.
Well, let's see here. Justice said, depends on the type of soup. Lemon rice soup should be thin, while a stew should be thick. Now, hold on.
Debatable.
I believe that a stew is different from a soup.
I do too. Me too.
So, like, chili is not a soup.
Chili
It's
is not
chili.
a stew. Chili is its own
Stew
food
is
group.
stew.
Stew
It
is
is
stew. Stew is not chili. He's gonna. I feel like he's gonna do something. See, Ed. Okay,
Yeah.
Ed's on fire.
I know.
I love that. Was the
Meatloaf
first
underrated, like-
record. That was the first record I ever bought. Meatloaf, Bad Out of Hell. Seriously, hand to God. Love Meatloaf. The food and the singer. I think we should have mourned him a little bit harder than what we did because of stupid COVID and people were being mean because he didn't get the shot. Whatever, it was his decision. Rest in peace, Meatloaf.
All right, so I'm giving you the platform. You got 2 more underrated foods that you can fire off if you have them. I know you said something about matzo ball soup.
Well, that's part of the soup thing, just because it's, you know, the way you create a chicken stock and it has to have a specific flavor, in my opinion. You don't want your...
I've never had matzo ball soup.
Do you... What?
I've never had matzo ball soup.
I am so offended.
What? I'm sorry. At least I'm admitting it.
I am so offended. Like, I might leave right now.
Well, guess what? I can kick you out if you want me to.
Okay, so we have to set this up then. We have to go to Jack's Deli. That's right across. You have to come to the east side. Don't be scared. It's friendly. Don't listen to the haters. I know where you work. I know where you work. Anyway.
Side I don't like going to.
We go to Jack's Deli across the street.
Jack's Deli across the street. We're getting
a matzo ball the size of your head. No lie, your head, not my head.
Mm-hmm.
And it's floating in liquid gold, aka chicken stock, chicken broth, whatever, tomato.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. Sometimes they throw some carrots and chicken in there. It depends on where you get it.
Okay.
But
now, and you said Jack's had the best corned beef.
Yes, I did.
Have you had Davis's yet?
Not yet. But I'm not alive during regular human hours.
They can make it for you at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's a bakery and deli.
Oh.
And the breakfast sandwiches are so good.
Those are my favorite. I love breakfast. See, there we go. Underrated breakfast sandwich. I would kill for a breakfast sandwich.
That is true, Justin. You have no excuse, Fatty. He grew up in Lafayette. And it's Lafayette. No culture, just Conn's potato chips. Love Conn's potato chips.
Those are good.
I love Conn's potato
chips. Those are good. Yeah.
And all I'm thinking about now is the salt and vinegar potato chips.
You can pay me in potato chips and I'll be happy.
Underrated potato chip right there, salt and vinegar.
You know, that's Dr. K's favorite chip. Every time.
Me and Dr. K get along well.
Oh, I know you do.
All right. Well, Sherry, we're here at the end of the show. We'll come up with a wonderful Fat Boy Tuesday next week. Also, stay tuned because guess what? We're going to start doing Twitter polls. And I did put one out, which I didn't get to tell Bri, is do you think DHop is going to wear a Browns jersey this fall? And I had about a 60-40 split. 60% said no, 40% said yes. So stay tuned on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Stay tuned to Sherry as she sets up our Fat Boy Tuesday for next week. On that note, Sherry, would you like to say goodnight to everybody?
Okay. This is my one big takeaway from various events this week. It costs nothing to be nice and be kind to one another. Just enjoy humans. I know there's a lot of noise about bad things that happen. Don't internalize. Let's just enjoy each other as humans and for our good things and not our bad things.
All right. You can find her at Browns Fangirl on Twitter, and you can find her here every Tuesday with us on the Legal Ham of the Face. She is Sherry. I am that fat guy. I want to thank our troops and first responders for everything you guys do. Can't do it without you guys. Also, do not forget June 24th from 6 to 9, we are doing a benefit dinner for my dear friend Matthew Brown, who said Joe's in Lakewood is the best corned beef. So we're going to put that one up to the test too, Sherry. So we're going to have some corned beef to eat here soon. And on that note, thank you everybody for watching. Ed, Justin, thank you for everybody in the comments. Craig, I'm working on the t-shirts. All right. It takes time. I know it's been 3 years. Didn't know it was going to last this long. It takes time. All right. Time and cash. Give me a second. I'll get them. All right. On that note, we are definitely uncorked, unloaded. We're out. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you.
Good night.